Hello, 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 and welcome to day 2 of the 90-Day Divas Confidently Go from Employee to Entrepreneur event. We are so glad that you've tuned in today. We're hoping that you've tuned in live because we've got a special little bonus that we're going to give away at the end of the session that we'll clue you into in just a minute. But if you are watching this in replay format, thank you for setting aside the time to do so. We appreciate your attention. And here we go. We are now on to day 2. And just in case you are tuning in today for the first time and didn't attend yesterday, really quickly, we are the 90-Day Divas. My name is Jennifer Myers. I've been a business and leadership coach for the past 13 years, specializing in strategy, sales, communication, and leadership. And my 2 lovely partners are here this morning. Carol, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carol Reid. I have a business called Soulpreneurs, and I've been doing that for about 8 years now. And I work with people on how they most want to feel. So really tapping into, setting goals around how you want to feel, because everything we're doing is for a feeling, whether we recognize it or not. And confidence is one of those feelings which you would have got yesterday. And today we're going to be going into another little piece of that today as well.
Luce?
Totally, that alter ego. Yeah, so my name's Lucia and I'm a digital marketing expert, and I've been in the field for over 10 years. And about 6 years ago, I started my own business and went on this journey. And yeah, I love it. And that's where our inspiration came to start the 90-Day Divas. So let's kick it off. Day 2.
Day 2. But first, how did you go with your homework from yesterday or your success work from yesterday? We did encourage you to practice that Wonder Woman or Superman pose for a couple of minutes before you did something that was challenging. And we also encouraged you to do something that you have been lacking the confidence to do before turning up today. So if you are here with us today live, if you would open your chat, please open the chat dialogue. And we would love to hear from you, whether you practice the Superman pose or Wonder Woman pose, or whether you tried something that you've been procrastinating on because you've been lacking the confidence. So drop your comment in there. We would love to hear what you did.
Yeah, it could.
And how you felt after it.
Yeah, and something really, simple, like, you've decided to pick up the phone and call that person that you've been admiring for a while in your field, or maybe you've decided that, you're going to make sure that you take that Wonder Woman stand or Superman stand before you make that sales call, whatever that looks like. So
yeah, building up that confidence, taking the action, because it's all about action, right? Instead of sitting there thinking about, I don't know if I can do this, right? Just do it.
Yeah.
So you think about dropping your comments in there. We do want to hear from you. And Lucy, you want to talk about what our bonus is for today?
Yeah, so today we've got another bonus. If you go on our latest Instagram or Facebook post and comment with the name of your favorite superhero, you will get a one-on-one with all 3 of us for the 15 minutes. So you can ask us anything. So yeah, this is for all the people live on our call. Take advantage and yeah.
Nice. So Vale says, I practice the Superwoman pose, just getting comfortable with it. Yeah, and nobody has to see you, right? As Lucy said yesterday, you could, go stand in the bathroom if you want to for just a second and just, do those 2 minutes there, do the pose so that you build that confidence, you open up your chest and you just kind of get ready to receive awesome things. Yeah, love it. So let's crack into today, shall we? We're talking about your alter ego and creating the confidence to step out. Ooh, Elaine said, I did it before leaving for work. Oh. All right. So Carol, do you want to kick us off and kind of talk about the points we're going to go through today?
Yeah, sure. So we're going to be talking about what your alter ego is. Just drop in the chat if you've ever heard of the alter ego, or if you've ever are familiar with it, what it means to you when someone says alter ego. We're going to look at identifying yours, and we're going to look at how we can implement it. But just pop in the chat if you've heard of the alter ego, or if you're familiar with it, or yes or no would be great in the chat, so we know whether you've heard of it or not. Cool. Go to the next slide if you want to.
Love it.
So, what is your alter ego? Well, it's really something that allows you to step into the traits and behaviors that you already have. So, you've already got these things inside of you, and what we want to do is we want to bring them out. Val says she's heard of it, but don't know what yours is or who yours is. Yep, that's cool. Awesome. It's basically a way to tap into what's already inside of you and really highlight it and bring it forth. So it's those traits, behaviors that someone or something that you like, but they're already inside of you. So it gives you the freedom and it gives you the permission to step more into it because you've identified it and you want to grow with it. It helps you to develop more conscious habits and routines, and it helps you to unleash those abilities. So really it's looking at what are the things that I would like to have more of in myself, and we're going to tap into those and bring them forward. So things, it could be things like having more confidence. It could be things like, being able to be more consistent, be more regular in your routines and habits, keeping those self-agreements. And it could be, someone that you admire. So if you go back to when you were a kid, were there things in your childhood that you used to want to be like? Did you want to be like Wonder Woman? Did you want to be like Superman or, Spider-Man? My daughter wanted to be like Spider-Man. She had such a thing for it. We had to buy her all the Spider-Man stuff. And it's like, cool, you be Spider-Man if you want to, darling. And I don't know what she really liked about it, but she loved Spider-Man. So, there'll be things inside some of those characters that are traits that you really admire. So it's extrapolating those and bringing them into yourself.
I always thought Wonder Woman was quite a badass. So yeah, when I was young and I would watch her, I'd be like, ooh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to be her too. So why use it? Well, we want to use it because it allows us to adopt a different, sort of habits and traits for when we're facing different things in our life. So it allows us to perform at our peak when it counts, because we can put aside the weaknesses or the traits that are holding us back, and we can step into and get the traits that are really going to leverage us and move us forward. And it allows our criticism or judgment to fall on the alter ego. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't take responsibility for things, but what it means is that you don't have to, feel like you're protecting your ego, because it's the alter ego that's going to have the ramifications of it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like instead of sitting there and saying, oh, what are people going to think if I do that? Or what are people going to say if I do that? When you step into that alter ego and that personality or whatever that is, that person doesn't care what other people think. And what do you always say, Carol? Other people's opinion? What is that?
Yeah, other people's opinions of you are none of your business.
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah, we get caught up in other people's opinions. Really, it's not going to matter. If it's not going to matter in a year or 2 years or 10 years, it's never going to matter, And here's a great quote by Tony Robbins: you must alter the learned beliefs about what you're capable of by changing your identity. Because remember, we've learned a lot of the traits and beliefs ourselves as we've gone through life, from our parents, from our community, from the people around us, from the influences that, people that we admire. And so it's actually been able to identify, well, what are those things serving me? Are those things keeping me from being the person I really want to be? Because that opinion of that other person has had too much say in my life. So actually being able to identify it and change your identity is what we're looking at for certain situations. Now, Beyonce is one of those ladies that created an alter ego. So she, in one of her albums, I Am Sasha Fierce, she actually created an alter ego called Sasha Fierce. And when she was Beyonce, doing all of her moves and whatnot out on the stage, she was Sasha Fierce, because she came from a background where things weren't like that in her background. She was from a Christian background, and she didn't sway or move her hips or do any of that sort of stuff. The gyrating was a no-no. And so she created this alter ego so that she could actually step into her power on stage and bring what was inside of her forward for her fans. And she still uses it every now and then, but because she's taken that forward so far, she's now become more Sasha Fierce, as things have gone on. So the ways to do it is to decide how you want to change and what area, choose a realm of your life. So let's say it might be sales, and it could be that, you know, you want to make better sales. So how do I step into being a top salesperson? What does a top salesperson, what are the traits and behaviors that a top salesperson would have? Do they get up and regularly make, you know, 5 sales calls a day? You know, are they speaking to somebody new, you know, 2 or 3 times a day? You know, what are they organized? Do they, you know, make sure that they've got all of their flyers and things out to all their clients, you know, in time before they do a promotion? Or, you know, just all those little traits. Really dive into and analyze what are the traits that you need. And then the idea is to give it a name, because, you know, again, we just want to have a little bit of fun with it, but we also want to be able to, you know, embrace it and say, this is who I'm going to be. So when we do our Superman or Wonder Woman pose, we can say, I am Sasha Fierce today, you know, or whatever. And then you can go right into it and give it an alter ego origin story. So where did it come from? So your salesperson could be someone who, you know, was really poor when they were growing up and didn't have a lot. And they're someone who, you know, really was virtuous about wanting to make a difference in the world. And, you know, then they started to want to, you know, learn about sales and do sales because, you know, they knew they could, you know, become more prosperous if they did that, you know. So whatever you want to make it, but it's an origin story that you'll create. And then the other thing you can do is create a talisman or an object or a trigger to bring that on. So, you know, you could put a paper clip in your pocket, or you could, you know, get a nice little stone or something and pop that in your pocket, or, you know, a crystal or something like that. You know, whatever it is that's going to be able to trigger that moment for you to let you know that I'm going into my alter ego state now.
Do we want to have our participants have a think about a name, or giving their alter ego a name, or anything like that at the moment?
Yeah. Yes. If you just think what could be a name for you, like you can put words together. Like it doesn't have to be a regular name. It could be like Sasha Fierce, right? You know, she's given Sasha the real name, but Fierce is, you know, who she wants to be, fierce, and, you know, bringing her power. So, you know,
We had someone say "go get her" one time. Yes.
yeah, go getter. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, there's no rules around it. You just decide what resonates for you and what will bring you that feeling of, you know, I feel, you know, powerful, or I feel empowered, or I feel, you know, confident, or, you know, what are the traits that you want to bring forward?
And if you've got a name that you've thought of, pop it in the chat for us, because we would love to see it if you're brave enough to share it. And we're all about confidence, right? So be brave.
We are. We're all about being brave.
Nice.
Cool. Okay, so implementing your alter ego. Well, you want to practice it, because it's not something that will just happen like that. You're going to have to give it a little bit of time and a bit of energy. But it's really good to practice with someone you trust. Victorious Vicky, I love it, Vicky. Awesome. Awesome. So Victorious Vicky, you know, how does she stand? How does she walk? What is she, you know, so it's thinking about some of those things, bringing in those traits that you want to have. But yeah, you're going to really practice it. So practice it in a familiar setting before you start bringing it out to the world. So with someone that you trust, and where the outcomes won't matter. So, you know, practice it with family. Hey, I'm trying this out, or with a friend, you know, and just try role playing it and see how you get on with practicing it. And then when you're ready, you can use it when it counts, you know. But yeah, give it a little bit of time and space to be created, because, you know, it won't come overnight.
I did a presentation workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking a little bit about this in a different way when we were discussing confidence and being confident as a presenter, whether you're presenting to, you know, a boardroom of 3 or 4 people, or, you know, an audience of a couple hundred. And I think this really comes into play there, because, you know, how do you want to be perceived as a presenter is kind of very similar. So when you think about what kind of qualities you might need, or your alter ego needs to really inhabit that alter ego, it could be better eye contact. It could be a firmer handshake. It could be how you step into a room and how you own a space whenever you go to a networking event. There's so many different things that can play into how this alter ego behaves. So really think about your body, your voice, how you interact with people as well.
Totally, Jen.
It's quite interesting. Whenever I step into my alter ego and go, the first thing I do is like take my shoulders back and really make sure that my chest is upright. And I've put myself in that powerful position that I really feel confident.
Yeah, that's it. And if you think about the superheroes, and we've got so many of them on show now with Marvel and DC and all that stuff, you think about some of the traits that are there, they're virtuous, quite often, and they're looking out for the little guy, they want to save humanity in some form or way, and they overcome, the baddies. And so every story has a hero and a baddie, and you want to be that hero in your own story, right? And so it's like stepping into those traits and pulling them together. What is it that you like about that stuff, and pulling it together so that when it counts, when you really need it, you've got it right there in your back pocket.
Vicky's asked, what are yours called, Lucy, Jenna, Carol? So if I had to share mine, it would be Sam. So Samantha, I've always wanted to be named Samantha instead of Jennifer, because I always thought it was a more interesting name. And to me, Samantha is a bit of a badass. So yeah, that's who I am when I go present.
Awesome.
Now you know.
That's awesome. Well, I had which friends said sounded too much like a porn star. I had lightning powers. Something powers for when I do my triathlon. Something powers because I wanted to feel powerful. And I can't remember what the first name was, but I've let it go now because everyone's like, no, it sounds too much like a porn star.
Austin Powers, yeah, baby.
So it was, yeah, baby, Austin Powers, but it was his wife, so it was like, and yeah, so I posted what the first part of it was, but yeah, I mean, I've ended up now. I've got to rethink it now. I've got to go back and what about you, Luce?
Redo it. Yeah, mine's always been Lucy Lou, because I like that character from Three Angels with Charlie, and I think she's a really Charlie's Angels. That's right. I think she's a really powerful woman and just that go-getter, and she just goes and does it. And I feel it's always been used to be my Facebook name too, so quite ironic.
Love it.
That's cool. You're doing it without realizing, because quite often we probably are doing a lot of this without realizing it's there. So we're just sort of really containing it. I remember what it was now, Stormy Powers.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's not too...
Sounds too pornographic, apparently.
No, it doesn't.
You know what, Carol? Who cares what other people think about it?
Oh, that's true too.
True.
Totally true. I was only playing around with it one day, so yeah. So further actions. I guess the thing here is to recognize that when you take note of it and appreciate when your alter ego is coming forward, then you can start to take on more of those traits. So you're going to adopt more of the traits on a regular basis. So eventually you're not going to need to activate it, just a bit like, Sasha Fierce. She doesn't need to activate it now. She just is Beyonce, and Beyonce is Sasha Fierce. So eventually, you won't need to. But the idea here is to just take a bit of note and appreciate when you are, bringing your alter ego forward. I know for myself, I mean, I know I say Stormy Powers, but I do bring in an alter ego when I do my triathlons and things like that. I think and operate like a triathlete, even though I'm nowhere near a triathlete that the other people are, but I still go really hard and do the best I can. And so I'm taking in those traits that I'm strong, that I'm confident, that I'm gonna never quit, even though there's times when I'm doing a big race, 75 Ks or something like that, where I want to quit, but I'm not going to quit because a triathlete doesn't quit, So yeah, it's taking in some of those traits that you really want to have.
Oh, sorry.
So our actions for today. Where is an upcoming situation that you might need to use your alter ego? Have you got something coming up that you think to yourself, I've got to have that tough conversation, or, I've got a big project that I want to launch, or actually I'm making quite a big shift in my life, so I need to bring in an alter ego to help me through it. Use the steps to create it, and then get that object or talisman to cue you in for your alter ego. So just have a little think, where would you want to use it? And let us know in the chat if something's coming up for you now, what you'd like to use your alter ego. It could even be just in everyday sales situations. It could be just, in everyday, in your role, that you want to be better at your role. So, if you want to be better at your role, what does a top person in your industry look like? What sort of things and traits do they have?
And just to tie this back in really quickly, to the theme of what we're doing for these 3 days, we know that some of you watching this have existing businesses, and this can absolutely be one of those things that you can tap into to take your business further, or to do things in your business that you haven't yet been confident enough to do. Go talk to that strategic alliance that you've always wanted to team up with and do some joint work with, or whatever it might be. If you're not in business, that's where the alter ego can also really prop you up and help you have that confidence to step out and say, you know what, I know I've got a business inside me. I know I can do this. Right, Carol?
Yeah, totally. 100%. And that's stepping away from the thinking that an employee has to getting into the thinking that an entrepreneur has. And some of those very subtle differences are things like a growth mindset, aren't they? So really thinking, where is the opportunity here? Not this is a problem, but where is the opportunity? Because problems are opportunities. If you don't have problems, most people who don't have problems aren't with us anymore, because everybody's going to have some type of problem. But yeah, being able to, step into the entrepreneurial mindset is about looking for the opportunity.
And embracing the alter ego and that confidence that it brings you. Yeah, love it. Lucy, remind us what the bonus is today.
Yeah, so you still got a chance to comment on our Facebook or Instagram post, and you might be in the draw to have a one-on-one with all of us and ask us any questions you want about your business, or about moving forward, or starting that business, whatever's on your mind, basically.
We've got nearly 50 years of entrepreneurial experience between us. So yes, you step into a meeting with us and you get a lot.
Take advantage.
Love it. Everything you need already exists within you. I love that.
So Val says, I have more confidence when I'm in my work mode with name badge on. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So that's part of it. Sometimes getting dressed up, getting dressed in your work gear puts you in work for mode. It's an interesting one. So you're already stepping into it with your name badge, and yeah, it's how we do all these things quite subtly, but if we recognize that, we can add more value by actually extrapolating them and pulling them apart and saying, well, these are the traits I want, instead of being on autopilot, actually living a little bit more intentionally and saying, okay, these are the things that I want to have. I'm going to be confident today because I'm stepping into stormy powers.
Absolutely. So Mel did this, didn't she?
Mel did, yeah. So we started with nothing. She just had really a vague idea. And in 90 days, she changed that into a business with a clear focus, a target market, and services to offer. So Mel really, she had a vague idea, but she also was someone who was quite committed to making a change. And those are the type of people that get the most out of our program, are people that really want to step into the power that's already in them, and they know that they've got this idea sitting inside them, and they want to move forward with it. And so we are the ones that really, help you move forward with it, and we help you be accountable for the things that you really want to change, the things that you want to bring forward, and give you the tools to be able to do that, don't we, ladies?
Absolutely.
So you might also be feeling like you're caught in a cycle of same shit, different day, because that can happen for all of us. Or you might be feeling that you're unsure of your next best career steps. Like what does it look like in 5 years' time or 10 years' time? You might be feeling that there's more out there for you than what you're currently doing. Or you might be ready to do what your heart's telling you want to do. And you might be feeling a little bit fearful, though, of the financial future if you take action in another direction. Like, you know, what will happen if I make this change and then there isn't any money? Well, tomorrow we're going to be covering that off. So really examining that a bit more and giving you some ideas and ways you can get around that financial piece, and really making sure that you're able to step into it with confidence. So do we have your permission to share the benefits of working with 3 business coaches? You want to drop a yes in the chat for us? We'll tell you what the benefits are.
Is that all right? If not, you're free to go. But yeah, we'll spend just a few minutes sharing with you kind of some of the awesome stuff that can happen when you work through our program. Love it.
Thanks, Vicky. Thanks, Vale.
Awesome. Brilliant.
Well, yeah. So some of the benefits you can experience with working with us: you can gain better confidence, clarity, and connection to your purpose and your why. You get a deeper understanding of who your ideal client is. You get to create some marketing taglines, your elevator pitch, your branding foundation. You get a framework for your sales calls, your questioning model, your conversion assets, so that you know where your sales are coming from. And you get your first client and money in your bank account in 90 days. And we guarantee that because we know that we can do that for you. However, the little caveat there is that you've got to do the work. We can't do the work for you, but we will be there holding you accountable and steering you in the right direction. Because quite often what we see is that we can be making all this effort and energy in a direction that doesn't take us where we want to go. And we're really good at being able to bring that back to, this is the path forward, not there, you know. And that's one of our superpowers, if you like, isn't it, ladies?
Absolutely. And that's kind of why we've come together, is to bring our different superpowers to the table for our clients, because we help you shortcut the process of progress. Love it. And how do we do that?
Oh, do you want to go through this part, Jen?
Yeah, sure can. So we've got something called the 90-day blueprint program. And whether you're wanting to launch a new business, or whether you've got an existing business that just needs a rejudge because it's gone stale and you don't know what to do, we work through 3 phases of our program. The first is mindset mastery. So this is where we really address what blocks are holding you back, help you clarify your vision and your goals, and really identify those things you need to focus on that are going to move the needle most in your business. The profit pathway. So this is where we talk about, who do you want to serve? Who are you best placed to serve? What are you going to be, what problem are you going to be helping that market solve? And how are you going to do it? So it's really helping you clarify who you're going to serve, how you're going to solve their problem, and with what offering. So getting really clear on how you say that to people when they ask you, what do you do? And moving through and helping you maintain momentum through the community that we've pulled together through the 90-day Divas. And yep, really quickly, there's pre-recorded online trainings, there's live group coaching sessions every week. You get a personalized 15-minute coaching session with the 3 of us. We do something called the Diva Deep Dive business model. So it's a 1-page business model that really helps you clarify your vision and the different parts, moving parts of your business that need to work, and what the plan for those is going to look like. And all sorts of additional tools and resources to really help you unlock the inner entrepreneur, or fully embrace your entrepreneur and move forward further in your business. And of course, I'm a DISC behavioral model practitioner, so we run through how DISC can help you improve your sales as part of what we do. Yeah, Carol.
Yeah, so you can join anytime, and it's a one-time investment of $3,200. Now, we do have payment plans available, but if you join us at the moment, and we want to be able to take care of you for showing that you've come through and you've done action with us, so we want to give you a reward. So we're going to put that down to $2,500. So you're going to save $700 by making sure that you join us now, because you've had this great bit of taken action to come with us to do this stuff already. So we want to say thanks. We want to say good on you. You're an action taker. Take a little bit more.
Love it.
Cool.
And
if you register before the end of the 3-day event, you'll also receive a business strategy call with us valued at $1,500. So we will go through and really dive into how we're going to get the most bang for your buck, by investing that money. And we know it's not a small amount of money, but we also know that it's worth it, because investment in yourself always pays tenfold over anything, and we're really good at being able to deliver value.
awesome. Vicky said, do we have a retreat planned for New Zealand in 2024? Working on that.
We're working on that. Yeah, we're working towards September again with our retreat that you came to, Vicky. So probably the same space, and around about the same time. We've just got to confirm that with Penn.
Love it.
We do have one planned, just a little side note, we do have one planned in Bali coming up, so May 2024. So whoever's thinking about going to Bali and want to do a bit of a business trip and join us, yeah, that might be an idea.
Love it. So I think, Lucy, you're putting a couple of links in the chat for everyone, correct? So there's a link in there for you to access that $2,500 for your 90-day blueprint program that Lucy will drop in there. If you're not sure if it's the right thing for you right now, hop on a call with us. We are more than happy to just kind of talk through where you're at and how we can help, or how we may not be right for you at this point. So yeah, we would rather you be ready and raring to go. And yeah, have a chat if you're not quite sure. So the links are there now. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what's your biggest insight from today? Is there anything you want to share with us that you've taken from today that you think you might implement, or what did you find useful? Drop in the chat. Tell us, a bit of feedback's always good. Feedback is a gift. So tell us, what's your biggest insight from today? What did you take away from today?
Was it that you learned that Carol's alter ego is Stormy Powers? Creating an alter ego for victorious Vicky. Love it.
Yeah, that's real
awesome.
good. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyone else? What was useful for you today? What are you going to practice after you go?
Yeah. Getting along with my alter ego. Yeah, okay.
That's good.
That's interesting. Oh, that you already have one. You've just never named it.
Yeah.
I like that, Vale. I like that. And what's one action you're going to commit to? What are you going to do as a result of what you've learned about the alter egos today? And tomorrow we're going to be talking about profit with purpose. So as Carol mentioned earlier, some of those money blocks, those old money mindsets that don't serve us, how can we find a way to manage those better so that we can move forward either in our business or move forward with starting a business?
Yeah, because often money is one of those things that, can hold us back, and it doesn't need to be something that we place so much emphasis on, but it's something that we tend to think makes the world go round, and it does to a degree. But when we understand what the blocks are, then we can, have the abundance that we want to have, that's comfortable for us, and enjoy our life in a way that's got more choices at the end of the day.
Nice. Lucy, who is the winner of our bonus today?
Oh yeah, we totally forgot to do that. Well, I think we didn't have anyone comment.
Did
Oh,
no one
we got
comment?
Ala. We got Ala. Come on, you
Oh, sweet.
got one. Here we go. So yeah, Ala, you can book a chat with us.
Awesome. Can't wait to
Yeah.
talk about you getting along with your alter ego.
Yeah, that'll be great, Alan. We can pull that apart and give you some really good ideas there. And Val, if you've already got your awesome, Alan. And Val, if you've already got yours, the idea is to extrapolate it a bit more. You've got it there, so pull it apart a bit more and look at some of the other traits that are around it, and see if you can, bring those more to the forefront. So, you've got them really sitting in amongst it rather than them just sort of happening without you knowing.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, everyone. We appreciate your attention and your attendance, and we appreciate those of you who are watching this in replay format afterwards. So, and we will see you for day 3. So go out and practice being your alter ego.
Awesome. You too, Alan. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.